There are many photographers that will give their tips on how to improve your photography. Well, guess what? Here are my 7 top tips. Greetings all, and welcome to a very windy day here in Swanage. I'm not too sure how the audio is going to come out on this one, but I use the Rodeo wireless mic, and they're normally pretty good with this sort of thing. So we'll see. So 7 tips on improving your photography. If you stay to the end, I'm going to give you a nice bonus tip as well. But it's quite rough out there, really rough. Well, let's say windy. The sea's not as rough as it has been. But I'm heading down to Sheep's Hollow, or Sheps Hollow, whatever people call it. They call it random things. Let's get cracking.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher.
Well, I do hope you can hear me all right anyway. Let's get on with this first one, shall we? And it's really quite important because it can make or break any photo. And and it's be fussy with your composition. And if you don't know about compositions, then I'm going to say it's one of the things to learn. I've done quite a few, I chat quite regularly about it during my shoots that I do. And be really fussy about your composition. And I've done a few things you can actually do at home, which is showing about different compositions. The main ones to learn are going to be your rule of thirds and your leading lines. The 2 most used, and the reason being is because they help to tell that story, both of them. So that's the first one out of the way. Be fussy with your composition. I remember my gloves and I've remembered my hat. But I've got a bit of a problem because this is my work hat. Because you know what it's like when you put things away because you don't need them anymore till like the following year, like hats and snoods. And but I've got a couple. I've got one lot that I use for work because I work outside. Mainly do ground maintenance at caravan site, for those who didn't know. And so you do get a bit mucky and stuff like that. So this is my work one, so it's got a bit of dirt and that all over it because it's that time of year where we move a lot of vans around and this sort of business. So it gets a bit dirty. But I've had to put that one on because I thought, well, I'm either going to get a cold head or just put my dirty hat on. So I'll put my dirty hat on because I can't find the one that I knew. Oh, it's one of those. Why am I heading down here? Well, I quite liked it down here when I was down here before, and I've still yet to do the video that I need to do talking about shutter speed. But the biggest problem I have, and I've said this before on other videos, that I've got to wait for the right conditions. And unfortunately, the conditions are right weather-wise. The sea's rough enough, but the tide is out. That's where I need the tide to be in. And I could come back at about 11, half 11 to do that today, but I've got other appointments at 11 o'clock where I'm meeting some friends. Hi John, hi Karen. Right, here I am, Sheps Hollow. And there's a couple of reasons I want to come down here, because last year, some real bad storms and everything, and they damaged all the stairs and that at the back here. And you haven't been able to get up the top, you have to take the long way around to get up to the top of the cliffs. And they've actually finally put them back in. And the reason it took so long was because they had to let the ground settle first before they did all the groundwork and stuff like that. So I actually want to just come and have a look at this as well. And yeah, it looks all right. Yeah, glad to be back, because it's when I want to go on my walks, it saves quite a lot of time. But yeah, Sheps Hollow. The reason why I like it here, because you've got a lot of groins, good location. You can see the sunrise. You've got cliffs to your left. You've got beautiful Swanage to your right. And you've got these gorgeous rocks down the front, which, like I say, I need the tide to be in, which is a bit of a shame, but I could probably use them as a foreground. Yeah, it's the same that side, a couple of rocks there, but sea's nowhere near them. Right, let's have a look round and see what we can fathom out.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher.
Right, let me just finish setting this up. I guess I've been for about 10-15 minutes. Sunrise, about now, but it's hidden behind the clouds. Which is a shame, because when I came out, and I thought there was going to be a bit more break in the cloud than what there actually is, which is a bit of a shame, but it doesn't matter, because there's a lot of detail in the clouds, which is pretty nice. Oh dear. So I'll show you what we're looking at. Let me just flip this around as we do. So I've got this little boat. Well, it's not little. We've got this boat. Top right third, like I say, think about composition. I've got this rock leading into the sea. In a minute, I'm probably going to put my 10-stop filter on and do a 30-second exposure on this. I just want to see if I can ghost a bit of that water out and give it a bit more of an artistic look. So I'm going to do both. I'll do this one, which is not not a long exposure, and then I'm going to do one which is, and then yeah, let's have a look after that. So settings, we are at, we're on aperture priority, there we go, ISO 200 f10, and the shutter speed is 1/8 of a second. When I do the long exposure one, that will be 30 seconds. And we'll take it from there. Do you know, I had the same problem the other day, is it kept going on to the 10-second timer even though I turn it off. Yeah, it looks quite pleasant. Right, let's get the filter on, we'll do that one. So on to the second thing that's going to really help to improve your photography and your final image is shooting raw. And the reason being for shooting raw, and it gives you better control over your editing and what it is that you want to do. So if you shoot in JPEG, once you've took that shot, you're very restricted on what you can do with it. Now, obviously, if you're just going to upload straight away to social media, then you don't really need to do that. You know, just shoot JPEG, upload it, job done, there you go. But the thing is when you're shooting with the raw file, is you can load it into your editor, and if you don't want to do anything, then just save it and away you go. But I always shoot in RAW. Well, actually I don't. I shoot in RAW and JPEG. So when I take the images, I get two files. One's RAW and one's JPEG. And the reason that I do that is because when I look at the JPEG, it gives me an idea of how I'm going to edit the RAW file. And it's just so that you don't over-exaggerate anything. Like, I've seen quite a few people where they've edited their work and they've oversaturated the final photo and this sort of thing, and it just doesn't look so. I tend to take both purely for that reason, so I can look at it and go, right, it gives me a good idea on, you know, colours and the shadows and highlights, and it gives me a good idea and a good starting point. So yeah, shoot RAW. But it also leads on to the third tip that I'm going to give as well, is to post-process your work. You know, especially if you're selling or you're trying to promote your work or you're doing paid work and this sort of thing, is post-process your work. And the reason being is because what your camera sees and what your eyes sees are two different things. So you really do need to fine-tune your image. And a good sort of way to sort of like say about this is the dynamic range that your camera can see is not as good as you actually think, because what you're seeing, the dynamic range is massive. But have you ever looked at an object, took a photograph, and that object is a silhouette? And that's what I'm talking about, is that you're seeing things differently than what these can see. So yeah, post-processing your work will, you know, you can bring out the shadows, you can bring out the highlight, you can control everything, and you can make the image look like it was when you were there. Oh, well, that's just annoyed me a little bit. Yeah, I was leave it up there a minute. I was setting the camera up here, and the video bit was still where I was before. So I was turning around, it was on the floor, the wind's blown it over, and I got sand and everything all over it. So I spent the past 5 minutes just trying to clean off what I can. At least it's still working. Anyway, let's get on with this one. I'm paranoid now. Absolutely paranoid. I'm really paranoid about the camera now. I'm going to alter the position of it. 1 minute. Yeah, it's a little bit better. It's a bit closer to me and a bit lower down, so that'll do nicely. Let me just flip this round so you can see what we are looking at. This is what we're looking at. I'm going to put it up here as well. It's just the groins coming in from that right hand side. The horizon dead central, because I want half and half, because the colours and that start to come through on the clouds, but I also want the movement of the sea. I might zoom in a little bit because I want to try and get rid of that boat. It's like a little dot on that left hand side. Though, it doesn't matter because I will soon remove it in Lightroom anyway. Don't know. We'll see. I'll leave it in. I'll probably remove it in Lightroom, because if I zoom in a little bit like that, I don't know. I don't know which I prefer. Because I prefer that wider. I'm going to leave it as that, and then yeah, I'll leave it as that, I think. And then let's just get back to this one. So ISO 400, f10, and it's on a 40th of a second. Just done it again, it's come back to 10 seconds and I've turned it off. That's wobbling again. So on to the fourth thing, visualisation. Now I've spoke about this before in a previous video. So again, I'll leave a link above and in the description. And the reason that visualisation is a really good tip is because it's getting what it is that you wanted. So you get a... So I tried to take this off at the same time. So whenever you take a photo, get visually in your head of what it is that you want. Because then once you've got what it is that you want in your head, this is there where you try to recreate it on the back of your camera, or find tweaking in your post-processing. And this is where you'll see a massive improvement, because if you're not getting what it is that you wanted, then you're going to start leaving a bit disappointed, a bit deflated and stuff. So always think in your head of what it is you want. I've done that with all of the photos here. I've looked at the conditions and I know ideally what I want, but I can't get exactly what I want because obviously the clouds weren't right. But looking at what I wanted to get with what I had to, to play with basically, I've managed to get what I wanted. And that's all because I'm in my head. I see what it is. I'm thinking, right, this is what I want. How am I going to do it? Really, really important. I think I'm going to say I'm going to pack up because that's nearly gone again. And so I think it's a bit windy really. So I reckon I'm going to pack up. But don't worry, because I'm going to carry on with saying about the rest of the tips on that here. So yeah, right, good. I've put that out of the way for now, so it's shaded a little bit. On to the next thing it's practicing patience. And dog wandering on his own. Yeah, practice patience, because sometimes you may have to wait hours, days, minutes, or in some cases like me where there's specific photography that I want to do and I'm waiting weeks. So always be patient is another good key, because and always visit, especially when it comes to different locations. Just be patient. When the weather's right, I remember I wanted to go to this specific location. And especially also when it comes to sunrises and that as well, is that, be patient. Because, them colours have disappeared and that now, but could you imagine if I'd actually left and thought, too cold, can't be bothered, gone home, colours changed, and you can get what you want. So yeah, practice patience. And another one as well is challenge yourself to other genres. For those who do follow me quite a lot, you'll notice that I don't just do landscape. I don't just come out and do sunrises. I do various others. I've done quite a few bits at home. You've got to check out some of the creative stuff and that I've done at home. I've also done street, which I haven't done for a while, but that's just because I broke the lens that I tend to use for going out and doing street, and I haven't replaced it yet, so I'll have to do that. Challenge yourself to other genres. The final one, I've got a bonus one coming up, but this is the final one that I think a lot of people tend to not do very often, and that is actually get out and do photography. And I know this is sort of probably a bit counterproductive for a channel that I'm trying to grow here, but watching YouTube videos and reading about photography is not going to improve your photography at all. What is going to improve your photography is actually getting out and doing photography. Like I say, I know that that's a bit a bit strange for me to say, considering I want people to subscribe and watch me not on here. And believe me, I do, and I want to help people learn. But let me just say, you're not going to learn sat at home watching 10 ton of videos. Good. So, yeah, just get out there and take photos. So on to this last bit, and I think this is going to be mainly for those people starting out and those that are looking at selling the work. And I think this is like really important because it's knowing your worth, knowing your value. And it's okay when you're starting out thinking, oh, I'll do things for free. But really, no, don't do things for free. Know your worth, know your value. And the reason I say to know your worth and know your value is because there is time and effort that goes into this. And if you're putting so much time and effort into it, you want to get something out of it. I know I share these stuff on social media. That's where I do the promotion. The website, that's my promotion. But when it comes to actual doing the work, and let's just take today. I mean, this is probably going to be a 10, 15, 20 minute video. But I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning, and it's now quarter to 9, or nearly quarter to 9. So just say that was just a photo shoot that somebody wanted doing. Well, that's like 2-3 hours of my time. Well, 2 or 3 hours of my time is worth something. So yeah, know your worth. So until the next time, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, stay safe. I'll see you soon.